Hello everyone, this is Tamara, your courtroom companion, and this is the channel where we talk about narcissism, family court, and custody. This video is going to be the first in a series of videos about best interest attorneys / guardian ad litems. It depends where you are, what they call these folks. So in my area it's called a best interest attorney, but I know many of you know the term guardian ad litem. So in this series we're going to talk about what is a best interest attorney and a guardian ad litem. We're going to talk about how you get assigned one of those folks to your custody case. We're going to talk about how these folks get trained, how payment is made. I'm also going to talk about strategies in this series about how to help you be successful when you're meeting with one of these folks during your case. And along the way in this series, I'm also going to share some personal examples from my own custody case that lasted, well, it's still going on. It's going on 8 years now. So I'm going to talk about those experiences as well with the best interest attorneys in my case. This first video is going to talk about specifically what is a best interest attorney or guardian ad litem, if that's what you call it in your area. And we're also going to talk about why they might be assigned in a custody case. So those are the two things I'm going to talk about today. But I'm also going to share with you just a little bit about how, in my case, we ended up with our first best interest attorney. So I'll give you a little bit of information about that as well. But as always, what I express here is just my own opinion, my own journey. I'm not a therapist. I'm not an attorney. I'm just sharing with you all this community of other courtroom companions. All of us are courtroom companions. We all support each other. But I'm just sharing some things about what I've learned in my case, and hopefully they will be helpful to you as well. But as always, please do hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you'll be notified when I upload content. So what is a best interest attorney or guardian ad litem? And I'm just going to use the acronym BIA because that's what I used during my case. It just means best interest attorney, guardian ad litem. So I'll just reference it as BIA. So a BIA is an impartial attorney that's assigned to the child or children to look out for their best interests during any custody action. It could be a full custody trial, it could just be certain hearings, but you might get assigned a BIA in your case to represent the best interests of your children. There are many reasons why a court may feel that your case warrants a BIA. And I pulled a solid list of the reasons why a BIA might be assigned. And I'm just going to read this list, but I want to tell you where it comes from. I want to give credit where credit is due. And it's from the website of Cynthia H. Clark. And you can pull this list up if you want. But it's a pretty solid list that I think might be helpful for you. So I'm just going to read them so I don't miss any of them. So there's either one or both parents can request one. Usually it's just one parent. So you can request one yourself if you think that that might be helpful to your children. If there's high conflict that exists, a court might assign it. If there's inappropriate adult influence or manipulation, and that can be from, I guess, anyone outside of the family or within the family, if the court feels that your children are being manipulated in some way, they might pick up on that and assign a BIA to your case. There might be past or current child abuse that's suspected or proven, and so in that case, a court could assign a BIA. If there's neglect, if there's past or current mental health problems of the child or the parties, if there are special educational, physical, or mental health needs of the child that requires investigation or advocacy, that might warrant a BIA being assigned, or actual or threatened family violence. If there's past domestic violence or current domestic violence going on in the home, a BIA might be assigned. If there's alcohol or substance abuse of one or both parents within the home or step-parents in the home, a BIA could be assigned. If there's consideration by the court to terminate or severely suspending parenting time of one or both of the parents, that's another reason to warrant a BIA. Or if the court is considering awarding custody to someone other than the parents, maybe grandparents or something like that, they might have a BIA assigned. Or if there's relocation that substantially reduces one of the parents' time with the child. So that's a pretty solid list, but I would be interested, and this community would be interested, if you were assigned a BIA for some other reason. We would love to hear about that experience, what went well, what didn't go well, but just we'd like to add to this list just so our community can share the knowledge that we all have together. So now I'm going to tell you a little bit about how, in my case, we got assigned a BIA. So it was post-judgment, meaning we already had a custody order in place, but there was continued high conflict because, in my opinion only, my ex had severe narcissistic tendencies. He was never formally diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. Doesn't mean he doesn't have it, doesn't mean he does have it. I'm just saying, from my opinion, he was a narcissist. And when you're dealing with a narcissist, there's always high conflict, especially in court around custody. And so there was ongoing high conflict where the court was aware of it because my ex continued to file motion after motion after motion. And so that's an indication that there's high conflict going on. One of the areas that caused us a lot of conflict early on was that in the first custody order, the courts awarded me tiebreaker authority. And when I saw that term, I thought, oh, that's a good thing. But then immediately I realized that's not a good thing because it's very subjective in the eyes of narcissists and anyone outside of our family. Because if you try to use that at a doctor appointment, if we were like gonna disagree about something, and medical was always one that was a big problem for us, and I'll tell you more about that later. But if we were at doctor appointments and there was a decision to make, if we disagreed, I would try to listen to what his opinion was. But let's just say I disagreed and somebody needed to make a decision. I had tiebreaker authority, so I could make that decision. Doctors' offices don't know what that means, and they're not going to enforce it. And so it was an area that constantly came up for us. My ex appealed our first custody order, and so he lost that appeal, but he continued to file motion after motion. So I had to go get advice from another attorney. The attorney in my case, I don't know whatever happened to her, but anyway, I had to get a new attorney for some reason. I don't remember why. But the new attorney looked at my case, looked at the case history, and said, this can't continue. You need to get a best interest attorney assigned to your son, and you need to file a modification of custody. This first custody order is not working. And it would have worked for our family, I believe, again, my opinion, if my ex did not have these narcissistic tendencies. But with dealing with a narcissist, there's always holes that he or she can find in a court order. Holes that no one else can find. They will manipulate the words. They will make them mean what they want them to mean. So my new attorney suggested that I file a motion to get a best interest attorney assigned. So on the day he filed a motion for modification of custody, he also filed a motion to get our son a best interest attorney. So that's what happened in my case. That's how we got our first best interest attorney. In a future video, I'm going to share even more personal details about my case regarding our first best interest attorney. Eventually you'll hear about why I got a second best interest attorney along the way. And so this series is going to be chock full of personal experiences, information I hope will be helpful to you, things I learned along the way. But always, I would love to hear from you all in the community to hear about your experiences with a BIA. So I hope you found this video helpful. If there are certain things that you would like me to discuss during this series, please do leave a comment below. I'll do my best to either answer a question or create a video around your question. And again, thank you for stopping by, and I hope to see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.